I prefer not to do this, but certain games they just don't deserve their own videos unless I want to make 6 minutes videos, which I'm trying to avoid. So this is going to be a trio of games in one little video, and they are of interesting quality. First up, we have Super Stuntman from Codemasters, in which you play a stuntman who has to help catch certain stunt scenes for a film of some description, and the title may make you think that you have to do stunts, but you don't. If you do anything that remotely resembles a stunt, you have screwed up. So it's a bit interesting title. You have to go from one end of a level to the other end of the level, and you do have various checkpoints on the way. But let's do technical stuff while we have the chance to do so. Graphically, it doesn't look particularly impressive, but I suppose it is a cheap-range game, so you can't expect wonders. You can, but then you'll be disappointed, especially with this game. But the graphics are perfectly serviceable. The sound effects are quite bare-boned, but they work perfectly okay. The title music is, again, okay, but mostly forgettable. What really gets this game is the control. The controls on this game are so incredibly slippery. It's not even funny. If you see the car sliding around the screen, it's not only because I suck, but just as much because the controls are extremely slippery. It's actually borderline being silly. The different levels have a timer that is very, very strict, and I know I didn't drive particularly well, but 4 seconds left. Nah. Then we get to a water stage, and with those controls you can imagine that it is going to be quite funky. Yeah. Better controls, this would have been a decent game, but with the controls being what they are, no. Next up though, an arcade conversion. Now we have Tiger Road, a Capcom arcade original that was converted and released by Go, which of course, as I've mentioned in another video, is a subdivision, subunit, some whatever thing of US Gold. And of other systems they victimized with this game was at least the Amiga, and I'm certain that other systems at the time would have to suffer whatever conversion they made. According to Capcom themselves, this is one of the best, most exciting fighting games ever created, at least for the time, with multiple game modes in one and all that kind of stuff. And it may have been positive for the arcade, but this conversion, well, we'll get to that. Plot, because we need plots, and I'm going to cut very, very lightly through the plot because, yeah, I want to. You play an individual who has to go and rescue some children that has been kidnapped for some reason, and end up fighting the uber bad guy, which has a name which I'm too lazy to remember because the game is what it is. And your own character also have a name that I have no intention of trying to remember because it's irrelevant. What is relevant is that you move from left to right, fighting bad guys, picking up power-ups, mainly weapons, and then from time to time you will get to a larger bad guy, which is a boss. We are fighting one just now, and you can probably tell that this fight is super exciting. Best epic action game ever created for any system at any point in the history of computer gaming. If you can detect a touch of sarcasm, you're not wrong. Graphically, this game, it's not super ugly. I've seen worse, definitely seen worse, but it's not particularly nice looking either. It flows pretty well, I have to give it credit for that. The animation is present, but a bit lackluster. The title music and in-game music are okay, not something worth cheering for, but not necessarily anything bad either. The controls are fairly okay, but the fairly okay is not adequate in this game because it has so many small niggly bit issues, which will translate into the gameplay, of course. The different powers you have are, as I said earlier, mainly weapons, but you also sometimes get a POW, which is not a reference to the Batman series from 1960s, but a health restore kind of thing. Anything that touches you will do an obscene amount of damage, and things will like to touch you. They are very touchy in this game. We would like to feel our hero, and the health bar will drain with an alarming at an alarming rate, I should say, meaning that dying is relatively easy, especially if you bump into something you don't know how to handle, which I will showcase in the next part of this game coverage clip, switching to here. The different weapons you have, spear, mace, staff, poker stick, chewing gum, whatever it is you are using, they are supposed to have a different power level, but they don't seem to have. So having one or the other is completely and utterly irrelevant. Playing this game, you get a feeling that whoever converted it didn't really care about it. If you look at the different enemies, most of them, including bosses, just vanish when you kill them. No excitement, no you are hero, you defeated a boss, nothing. They just vanish. And that makes Tiger Root quite a boring, flat, and quite honestly crap gaming experience. But I have been saving the very best for the last part of this video. The Edge software decided to bless us all with the game called Brian Bloodaxe. Brian is a Viking, and he has decided to go and steal the English crown jewels and appoint himself king. In order to do so, he has to navigate various different screens, picking up various different objects, and take them to various other different screens and drop them off, eventually getting the crown jewels. Gameplay plot covered in one fell swoop, which means I can cover the technical aspect and limit the length of this video, trying to preserve the sanity of anyone actually watching this. Graphics wise, it's not too bad, everything is decently drawn, but as you can quite clearly tell, it is a blinking mess. Playing this game for any length of time is very likely to give you a raging headache, which is one reason I'm trying to limit any exposure of this game. The sound design is extremely basic and extremely boring, and the music that you have to listen to at all times is bland, dull, boring, toneless. Ugh. The controls are okay when they want to be, which is not often. The hit detection Is there hit detection in this game? I'm not entirely sure. I'm not sure I managed to experience it. But what I did experience was attempted jokes such as Daleks and airplanes in a Viking game. This has to be one of the worst games I have ever played, and I did it all for you, dear viewer. Yeah. On that note, thanks for watching. Take care. See you next time. Bye bye for now.